the last day of the African Summit for Women and Girls in Technology, and I'm here with Jama Jack, who is the founder of Linger. She creates communication strategy for organizations and media solutions, and then she has a deep heart for development work and non-profit organizations. So thank you for coming to my channel,
Thank
Jama.
you for having me.
Yeah, so can you just tell us about yourself in a few minutes?
So, like you rightly said, my name is Jama Jack. I am from the Gambia.
Gambia.
I work in communication, but I also volunteer with several organizations in the Gambia, specifically working on issues related to women's and girls' rights.
Okay, that's good to hear. So you were on the panel on the first day of the event of the summit, and then you had so much to say about having women do a lot of things in technology. How has your role been as a woman in tech, you know, in the Gambia? What has it been in tech in the Gambia with what you do, creating solutions for businesses and helping with communication strategies and all?
So I was moderating the panel on women and the web.
Yes.
And this falls right into what I do.
Okay.
Because of my communication background, my work also includes using new media technologies to reach people with very crucial messages, but also to sound opinions from people in the communities that we're working with. So I'll stick to the work that I do with non-profit organizations.
Okay.
And this is, so when I graduated in 2014 and went back to the Gambia, I found a landscape where people were not really harnessing social media and other new media tools to promote the work that they're doing, but also, you know, to just put the work out there and get people to know that this is what we're doing and this is how far we have come. But also these are the challenges we have, these are the gaps that exist, this is where we need help with. And so it was interesting for me because I joined an organization called Think Young Women, and then I took up
Young Women.
Yes, Think Young Women. So we want everyone to start thinking about young women and girls. So when I came in, I took up the role as an advisor, specifically looking at communication. And there I was able to sort of restructure how we communicate as an organization and how we put our work out there, because I felt it was very important work that we're doing, and people need to know that this is what we're doing. We're a young organization, and we need all the support we can get. And if people do not know that this space exists and this is what work we're doing for women and girls, then we might not be able to get as much support as we actually need. So when I came in, I just changed everything and restructured our communication, restructured our messaging, also put a lot of emphasis on the kinds of photography we're using to tell our story and to tell the stories of the girls and the women that we're working with. And because of that, there's been a lot of inspiration for other organizations in the Gambia, as well as businesses as well, because even businesses were not, you know, leveraging on the power of social media to sell their products and their services. And because of that, I've done several trainings. But my focus is really about giving back and looking at how I can support youth organizations, you know, to look at the opportunities that exist on the web and make use of them to promote their work and to advance the work that they are doing. So I've done trainings for them. I support with strategy development. I support with giving talks just to highlight the work that we're doing, but also making sure that what I started with Think Young Women continues to grow. And for that to grow, I'm working with a team of 2 young women who are interested but who also have the skills. And for me, it's really about mentoring them to be able to take up the roles that I have been able to play. I don't want to be there for 10, 20 years. I want to be able to do what I can and leave and have somebody else take up the positions and even do better. You know, and they're doing that right now, and it makes me very proud. So nice. The landscape has changed. There's a lot of progress. There's still a whole lot for us to do. There's a lot of catching up to do, but I think people are more aware of what opportunities exist, and they're starting to invest in comps in their work.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I like the mentorship part where you're mentoring toward the young women, which shows that your success. I mean, every leader should have a succession plan, whether you like it or not. Now, talking about storytelling, like I was saying off record, a lot of non-profit organizations and a lot of women do not know how to tell their stories. I mean, if you don't tell your stories in compelling ways, no one will communicate with them, no one will engage with them. So how do you think women who are in different areas of industries, tech, arts, science, you know, whatever field they have, women who do business or traders, how do you think they can tell their stories, or the stories of what they do, the stories of their businesses better using technology tools?
I think I'll first of all start by saying maybe not all of us are born storytellers.
True.
You know, but then there are some of us who tell stories. And so I'm going to start on the premise of, if you can tell stories, make sure you're telling women's stories. Okay. And this is what you're doing. Thank you very much for this opportunity and this initiative. But I think it's not that simple. We're looking at a culture where women are told we have to be seen and not heard, but even with being seen, we're always seen from the back. So I think this has also affected women who are even trying to break away from the role to say, am I putting myself too much out there? You know, what are people going to think about me? Do they think I'm boasting? You know, because a lot of the success stories we're sharing, people look at it and say, oh, she just wants to show off. You know, so we first of all need to be in a position where we're comfortable to own our successes as well as our failures and say, this is my story, it belongs to me, and I'm going to tell it the way I want. Because the danger with not telling your story is that somebody else tells your story and they might not tell it the way that you would, because it is your story. So for me, it's about also exploring what opportunities exist out there to tell your story, and also have your doors open. There are people who are sometimes knocking to get these stories out. When they come, feel free, be open. You never know who you're inspiring with your story. You never know what little girl is sitting out there and, you know, who chances upon your story and says, oh, she was able to do this, I can do it as well. So for me, I mean, technology affords us the opportunity to even have interviews when we're not in the same place. You can be in Nigeria, I can be in the Gambia, and we can have an interview and my story can still be told. So we should leverage these opportunities. There are a lot of bloggers out there, there are a lot of vloggers out there. You know, there's so many platforms out there, and we need more women's stories to be told.
Oh, great. We need more women's stories to be told, and then I'm doing my part. Okay, so before we round up, I'd like to ask you, what are your aspirations for the next 5 years? I mean, I'm not relating to empowering more girls, you know, to embrace technology. And technology is not just coding, like we've said here over and over again. Embrace technology tools and, you know, technology skills. You know, now you can work remotely. I can be in Nigeria, like you say, and be working and have a client in the US. And I mean, we don't have to know ourselves. And these opportunities exist already. How can more women, you know, take advantage of this? And what skills do you think are available for young girls?
I think that's a relevant question. It's Day of the Girl today, and the theme is around a skilled workforce and looking at skills for girls. So in the next 5 years, what I really want to achieve is to scale my business. So in 2016, I registered a company called Linger Communications with a specific focus on communication, but also social media management for non-profit, but also for business. So I want to turn my skill into a money. I
mean, I have to learn from you.
We can exchange.
Yes.
So that's really what I want to do. But I'm doing this with a vision of growing this into a company that embraces girls and the skills that they have to offer. So for me, the beginning is really looking at women as my staff, as my trainees, as my interns, as my volunteers. This is what I want to do, because in doing this, it gives me an opportunity to really connect with them and mentor them and transfer the skills that I have to them, so they can also eventually go start up their own things. Linger Communication cannot be the only one doing this. If we have more girls, we're getting more girls into the boardroom, we're breaking that glass ceiling they say exists, and we're able to do a whole lot more. So for me, this is really what the vision is, but also using the company as a platform to provide support and funding for a foundation that I want to set up that responds to the needs of survivors of sexual violence. This is what I want to do. And it also has something to do with telling our stories, because we're not telling these stories. We're not, and even if we're telling them, we're not telling them in the right ways. We're not telling these stories in ways that allow us to preserve the dignity and the humanity of these survivors. So for me, this is what it's always about. Communication for me is not just a career path. It is looking at it as a tool for me to advance social justice and to advance the human rights of women. So in the next 5 years, I want to see Lingan become a household name in the Gambia, bringing me money and putting bread on the table, but also providing the funds that I need to advance the work that I do for women and girls in the Gambia.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, congratulations, because I mean, with what I've seen in the past few days, I think that's achievable.
It is. There's so many opportunities, and the conference has, I mean, it's been like, it's very timely for me, because you get to a point where you're asking yourself, can I do this, can I not? And then being in this space with all of you women, everybody doing their thing and telling us it is possible, you can do it, we're here to support you, we have the spaces. It was really empowering for me. So I'm going back with a lot more clarity on what I want to do, and in the next few years we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, when we're back here in about a year or two, man, we'll have really good stories to tell about
I would
ourselves.
be more confident about introducing myself as the founder of Linger Communications.
That's really cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I mean, I had to drag you
okay.
short as notice. I mean, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations.